Welcome back to my channel. In the last video, I told you how you can install macOS on any of your systems through Hackintosh. And then I explained how to download the OpenCore auxiliary tool and use it to mount the EFI partition and paste the EFI folder into it. But this method works when your BIOS has the option to manually add a boot entry, which mine does not have. That's why the system boots directly into Windows. And if I check the boot options in the BIOS, you will only find one boot option here, which is for Windows. So today, I will give you all a permanent solution so you don't have to face this issue. So without wasting any time, let's head towards the video. Welcome to my channel, Technichio. So first of all, we will need a disk management tool. I have MiniTool Partition Wizard installed. You will also find its link in the description. So I will open it. And here you will see all my drives. But the partition in which I installed macOS is this 500 gigabyte partition. We need a minimum 100 megabyte partition here. We cannot shrink the macOS partition. So I will shrink the Windows partition from this drive. So I will right-click on this partition and choose the Move or Resize option. And here, we need 100 megabytes of unallocated space before the partition, not after. So first, I will convert GB to MB, and then I will extract 100 megabytes from the partition size. This space will be removed from the end, but I will type it in the Before tab so it is removed from the end and comes to the front. Now I will click OK, and here we will get unallocated space. Next, I will right-click on this unallocated space and choose the Create option to create a new partition. But I will keep this partition's file system as FAT32 because that is the file system of the EFI partition. And I will keep it without a name, but I will assign it a drive letter. You can choose any. And now our settings are complete, so I will click OK. And now comes the last but most important step, which is changing the partition type ID. So I will right-click and choose Change Partition Type ID. And by default, it is on MBR Partition Scheme ID, but I will convert it to EFI System Partition ID so the BIOS can detect it as an EFI partition and boot from it. And now I will click OK. And now if I look at this new partition, it is still a GPT partition, but Windows shows EFI written on it. This is because all my steps are still pending. So I will click Apply here so all my changes are applied. And now both partitions are of the same type, which means our EFI partition is okay and ready to use. And if I go to this PC now, you will also see the partition here, but I cannot directly paste the EFI folder into it because that won't work and the files will get corrupted. So I will open Explorer++, which I have downloaded. You will also find its link in the description. After opening Explorer++, I will open that EFI partition from here, and you can see that it is empty. So I will open a new tab and copy that EFI folder from the desktop, which I created, and paste it into this EFI partition. If you also want to create an EFI folder for macOS installation, you will find the video link in the description below, which has a detailed guide. So now our EFI partition is ready for booting. So I will close everything and restart the system, and first go into the BIOS. Here in the boot options, you can now see that there are two options, one for Windows and one named UEFI. So I will put the new UEFI boot on the first boot and Windows boot on the second. And from here, if I boot with this new boot option, the OpenCore bootloader will open in front of me, which means our process is successfully complete. But I will still choose macOS from here, and after booting, I will open the OpenCore auxiliary tool again and choose the ESP mount option. Here you will now see two disks because EFI partitions are now on two disks. So I will mount both of them. And now if I check both, you will find OpenCore files in one and Windows boot files in the other, along with that OC folder which was pasted in the Windows EFI partition. So I will now delete it. And if I restart now, my system will go directly to the OpenCore bootloader. And from here, I can also boot into Windows. Therefore, in this way, you can set up OpenCore dual boot on your system so that you don't have to boot from USB every time. In the next video, I will tell you how you can use the existing virtualization and Hyper-V option in your system to create a virtual machine without any third-party software. So don't miss my next video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Technichio, and hit the bell icon so that you'll never miss an update from our channel. Together, let's end tech tantrums. Thank you.